Hi and welcome back to the website building tutorial series. On the screen right now is just a sample website for the one that we're going to be building throughout this series. You may recognize it from the introduction from the last tutorial. And we're going to start with our first part of building this today, and we're going to be working with Fireworks. Now Fireworks, just briefly, is a vector and bitmap combination design program. It has all sorts of handy web utility to it. We're going to do some pretty basic stuff and just build our first website to get that out of the way. First thing we're going to do is create a new document, and I'm going to make mine, I guess we'll go with 900 pixels by 600 pixels, and I'm going to put mine on, for now, a white background. Now the only time that this width really becomes important is because we will be designing our website around these restrictions, but if you pick a width that you don't like at the beginning, you can always change it down here in canvas size. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is build our background. This is going to be the kind of rounded thing you see around here, and just give it a little bit of a sense of popping up off the page. So to do that, we're going to start with our layer 1, and I'm just going to rename layer 1 rectangles. And then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to click this and make sure I've got my rectangle tool, and I'm going to have a white fill with a black outline, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Now the reason I drew this tiny little rectangle when we want something actually significantly larger is because down here in the Properties Inspector, it's a lot easier than trying to manually drag out the width you want. So I'm going to come down here, and for this sample, we're going to make our rectangle 800 by 500. Now, when you're designing your website, you'll want to make sure that you design your width to be the width that you want for your viewers. If they are viewing this and they have a very large resolution, they're going to see this as pretty small, kind of a thin little column website. If they have a lower resolution, it will appear to take up more of the screen. So you're really going to want to think about your audience when you're making this. For us, this will do just fine. And now I'm going to round these corners. And I'm just going to come down here to roundness, and I'm going to change that to 20. That makes these pretty round. Now obviously we want a website that's going to be longer than this. We want something that will grow as we add more text to it. And that will happen just by the way that we build it. So we don't really need to worry right now about the width of this. We just want to make sure we've got enough room to cut this into pieces later. Once you've got your rectangle done, make sure it's selected, and I'm just going to copy it. You can also do this by using the little shortcut Control-C, which is what we'll do for the others. And then I'm going to paste it, which is Control-V. And you'll see here we have 2 rectangles. I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm just going to have 5 rectangles for now. The reason we're building this is because we are going to cut some of these up, and we want to make sure that we have others to work with for other parts. Now, it looks like we still have only 1 rectangle, and that's because, as you can see, they are all stacked on top of each other. Next, I'm going to make a new layer. Over in your Layers panel, drop down to the bottom, and you'll see New Duplicate Layer. Click that, and it gives you, ta-da, a new layer. Let's make this one background. And I'm just going to click on one of the rectangles, and click and drag right up to background, and put it there. Now I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to name this one Footer. Same thing, grab one, drag it up there, and another new layer. And this is going to be Header. And another rectangle up for that one. And then I'm going to make one more layer, and I'm going to call this one Outline. And we'll come back to Outline in a later tutorial. For now, I'm just going to drag the rectangle up here, put it in there, and now I'm just going to click the eye next to that layer and just turn it off altogether. I want nothing to do with that right now. Now, I'm going to come down here to the background and select that rectangle. We've got all these others up here, so actually let's check the eyes off of all of these layers. Get rid of Footer, get rid of Header, make sure Outline's still gone, and we're going to keep background, and I'm going to get rid of our other rectangles layer for now. We can always put that back on later. So now you should have only 1 rectangle, and you can see if you move it around, there are no other rectangles to take its place. So we're going to keep that in the position. It's very important you not start fiddling around with the positions of the rectangles. Make sure if you accidentally move them, you Control Z back to undo that. And what we're going to do with this is just give it a glow. Now you can see if we drop a shadow, that gives us a nice off-the-page effect, but only on one side. If that's what you're after, that's fine, but with something the size of a website, it's easy to kind of see only one side of it. If you're not really looking over here, you wouldn't notice. So if you look at this and it's not got a full glow around it, this is going to look flat, and then only this side will look like it's raised off the page. To prevent that, we're going to get rid of this drop shadow, and we're going to replace it with a glow. And we probably don't want red, but if that's what does it for you, then go for it. Instead, I'm going to change mine to a dark gray. I'm going to leave the other things, but feel free to fiddle with these and make it work how you want it. Once you've got that, you should have something that looks like it's popping off the page a little bit, and this is going to be the groundwork on which we build all of the other parts for this in the future tutorials. I hope you found this one useful, and come back and check back for when the sequel gets put up. And oh, one thing, make sure you save. Always save. So we're going to go to the desktop, and I'm just going to call this trial website, and I'm just going to save it as a PNG. Now I know that's saved, so we are all set. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.